So here, what we have here is last July, August, if you remember, our washes were covered with Stinknet, and it was a fire hazard. So in August, the board approved the engagement of a landscaper to remove the fire risk in our washes. And so on August 19th, we had a meeting, and the board ultimately approved a Land Care Unlimited to clear the washes. And this is the proposal that they gave us that we reviewed that night. So as you see, they're talking about removing the Stinknet, and they're talking about putting a combination of chemicals in their herbicides and so on to get rid of, make sure that all the Stinknet seeds are not there to propagate. And this was a recommendation of the Forestry Department, by the way. And so Land Care is talking about toward the end, bottom of this screen, what you see is the price to remove all 4 Stinknet weed from all designated basins, $23,890. Completion time, 4 to 5 weeks. Maximum, as we all know, it took them a little longer to do that than that. And what's here is they've attached wash, and this is crude drawings. I get it, not good. I'm not an artist. But so we have 3 washes in the community. This particular map showed olive wash B and olive wash A. And then farther down, what you see is, this is maps that came from the Forestry Department. And in this particular map, it's wash A. And you can see down here, this is John Teets Park. So it goes up from John Teets Park up to Briles. And then this particular leg is from Briles to Jomax. And this is important because there should be 3 legs on here. And we'll get to that in just a moment. So we have 3 washes. Here's olive wash A, olive wash B, and, essentially 2/3 of wash A. Excuse me, olive wash, yeah. This is 2/3 of wash C. And so then I'm going to try to share again. Do you see my screen still?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the Stinknet proposal.
It's the same.
I'm sorry, what?
It's the same.
Okay. And so then this is what the map should look like for all the areas. In other words, here's this diagram that I'm none too proud of for wash B and C.
You're showing something wrong, I think, Tracy.
What's the matter?
It's the same
original document.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Sorry. Okay. All right. So now do you see this one?
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. So this is what this shows is wash A and wash B, like we saw in the proposal. And then these are the 2 legs of this is John Teets Park for the wash C. This is the next leg. And then this is the piece that was missing from the proposal. And why this is important is this includes this northwest section here of the community. And then why I decided to use, this particular document is there's not that much detail here. But if you look at this one, not only does it include this part, but it also includes, it's a little bit more detail about what exactly needs to be cleared. So I got that. Land Care Unlimited sent theirs in the last for that day. We had 2 other proposals, one for $32,000 and one for $100,000, believe it or not. So Land Care sent that, and it doesn't have the attached proposal, but this is what they said. Thank you for giving us more time. And then and so this time was, they returned it at like 3:33 p.m., 8:19. And then I noticed that the one piece was missing. So at 3:33 p.m., I said there are another set of maps for additional wash in the two parts of the email I sent. And the email has to do with the RFP. The RFP had one part of the RFP had a lot of information about the Stinknet, information that how to remove the Stinknet and permission from the forestry department, etc. And so I said, were you bidding on washes A, B, and C? And that was at 3:33 p.m. that day. Right away, he responded back and he says, yes, my bid is inclusive of all documents that you sent. I had difficulty moving some of the maps to my proposal and should have told you there that everything you sent me is included. So then the next day the board voted to accept the land care proposal. And so the next day, and maybe it would be better if I could figure out how to do a slideshow here. Would that be easier for everyone to see?
That's.
Is that better? Okay. So, whoops. So we said, we're pleased to inform you that the Tatum Highlands community reviewed your land care unlimited bid yesterday evening and have accepted your proposal. I think I wish I hadn't done that because it's clipping it off for me to see. Shoot, it's accepting your proposal.
If you hit escape,
can everybody see the whole screen?
If you hit escape, you can exit out of this slideshow.
All right, thank you very much. Now can you still see it?
Yeah.
All right. We have accepted your proposal to remove Stinknet from 3 community washes and apply the herbicides as described in the proposal. And then I asked for a firm date or the board asked me to ask a firm date to start the work. And going forward, please work with Ada Cusimano or AAM community manager to set up the processes needed to support the funding of the proposal and all associated documentation and paperwork required. Then I was getting ready to package everything up to the property manager on Saturday morning, and I decided to go back another pass because I saw this document where I'd sent land care information, making sure that for Wash C in the attached Word document, please note that there's an area that's in the upper left of the map, that northwest section of the community. Wanted to make sure that that part of it didn't get missed. And so I attached these maps that we looked at, and I said, hello, Tim, do you have all the areas listed in the attached documents in your proposal? Just double checking. I ended up calling him a couple of times because I wanted to get this done, and Tim texted me back. And so you see the date on this one is at 9:31 in the morning, and then at like 9:34, I texted, please review the document just sent. I was filing the documents and had this question. And so then, we talked about evidently it was a storm at that time, but the part of that is here. It says the only reason all the maps were not on the proposal was because some of them I could not grab some of the maps, which is the same thing he said before. And from the Word document you sent, so you absolutely, but I wanted to absolutely assure you that the proposal is complete and covers every wash area in your map, he means exhibits. Okay. So then on September 21st, we had trouble getting this announcement out to the community. I wanted everybody that was aware of the work that would be happening, and that land care had permission to be on the site to do this work. And so we sent an email blast out to the community. And we said on August 6th, in the board meeting, the Tatum Highlands board approved the removal of Stinknet for washes A, B, and C starting in September. And then so we've got all the wash completed for $23,890. On 9/23, we got the invoice in. And you can see it says removal of stinknet weeds from the 3 washes includes all labor, herbicides, and materials required to clear basins of the weeds. It was $23,890. Then what we have is an invoice coming in November 9th. It says completion of removal of stinknet weeds from 3 washes. Includes all labor, herbicides, and materials required to clear basins of weeds. Includes application of granular pre-emergent, $23,880. This was work that the board hadn't approved. This should have been included in the other. All of this was the $23,890. That's what was in the proposal. And so what we see here is in November 11th, this invoice wasn't approved by the board, and on November 17th, it was paid from the operating expenses. It was paid. This wasn't approved by the board. It was paid by property manager and our former treasurer, Carl St. John. And then on November 30th, 2020, it was transferred, a few days later, it was transferred from operating to reserves. And then that's something else. So, and here it is where the check itself, according to our bylaws, the president and the treasurer approve the checks. And in the agreement that we had with AAM, any amounts, they could contractually sign small amounts for emergency use, things that you needed for the community, up to $500. This check, though, was, as you see from Susan Plattner, the check was approved by Adam, and the Tatum Highlands board did not approve that $23,880 invoice. So I'll stop sharing. I wanted to give everybody that information. And Jim, what's next on the agenda? It's the homeowners forum, I believe.
It is, yep.
Okay. Can you put up the agenda, or do you have it there?
Yeah, let me, I need
Okay. So are there any questions from the homeowners forum?
Tracy, I have a question.
Okay, Gary?
And I'm not sure if it's moving forward or it goes back to what you just shown us, the 23,000 plus. Mm-hmm. Was that, and as I'm understanding it, that was first approved by the board and then unapproved, which I've never heard that before, but mm-hmm. So who has the 23,000 plus money now?
So you're talking about, we had 2 invoices paid. Is that what you're talking about, Gary?
Yes. What I'm trying to figure out, was it specifics? Why did they invoice just twice if they never got paid the first time?
They got paid the first time. The $23,890 check was approved by the board and paid.
And why would they invoice you again, or us again?
Good question. Next question.
Oh, we're not going to try to answer that?
You didn't answer it.
You didn't answer that, Tracy.
Come on.
What was the question?
I said, why would they try to invoice again if they had already gotten paid?
They did get paid.
Okay, they got paid. Why would they invoice us again for $23,890, I believe?
I'm not a mind reader. I don't know. They shouldn't have.
Did anybody check into that? Did somebody at least look into it? Why was that? Why was it even brought up to where we still owed them $23,000?
The board was not aware of that payment.
That is a point of contention that when somebody tries to bill me twice, I first say, okay, I have paid you. I showed you that I have paid you, and now you're billing me again.
Right. That's exactly right. And that's something the treasurer could answer.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. So the former Tony Sutton, Carl St. John home, are you online? Could you answer that?
Oh, don't even try that. You know, I can't answer. This is Tony. Carl's sick right now, but don't lay that on him.
Okay. All right. Are there any other questions?
Tracy, you're always trying to pass the buck, you know, and it's very common at times when companies will send and double invoice. But this was not a double invoice. It has different invoice numbers. It's almost the same amount. And the thing is that you weren't clear, and basically Landcare was unfortunately a victim here because they didn't get it in writing. And I don't know why we're going over this again, but we can't change the past, okay? There was failing on your part as well as Landcare's part, and nothing was transparent. From the moment that we reviewed, and I'll say, actually, I wasn't even on the board at that time. I was on the landscape committee, and the landscape committee didn't see any of this. We were bypassed. And all of this was in a special meeting, August 19th of last year, and you were hiding the companies. You were not transparent at all, and this is what happened as a result.
That's not true.
And Tracy, I don't even know why we're going over this, because everybody has their opinion of what happened. And you know what? To save this account, in defense of Landcare, to save this account, Landcare graciously refunded the second amount. Right. Because they want to keep us as a customer. They want to keep us happy. And they didn't have to do that, but they've taken the higher road here.
Okay.
Okay.
Stuart, and then we'll, if there's no other, if Stuart's the last one, we'll end the homeowners forum.
The only thing that I'd like to say is just that, Tracy, we all know that the proposal that you sent out was for 3 washes, but Landcare read it wrong, and I firmly believe that at the time that it was presented in the emergency meeting on August 19th, which I attended, I believe that the way that you presented it was that it was your understanding that it was going to be 3 washes, but it really was the understanding of Landcare that it was 2 washes, because they came back after the fact, reviewed the 3rd submitted wash, not the first 2. Their paperwork shows what they were proposing. If they were going to propose all 3 washes, wouldn't the maps be the same as opposed to the maps that were provided that are different than the maps that originally came from Landcare? The point is, Tracy, is the facts are the facts. And as Kevin said, people will choose to believe what they want to believe. But what I believe is that when you presented the proposal to us, whether you knew it or not, you basically proposed it in the manner that it was your recommendations based on price and services rendered, that Landcare was the best deal for the money. But if it was for 2 washes and another company posed $30,000 for 3 washes, then that's not the case. The fact is that the situation has been rectified. What's wrong is that you just can't admit that a mistake was made. You're trying to blame everybody else, but you were in control of all of it. And that's what the community wants to know, Tracy. And if you want to admit it, fine. If you want to present it the way that you want to present it, fine. You're in control. It's the community, though, that you're supposed to be representing.
Thank you, Stu.